spent 10,000 hours and 10,000 more. Oh, if that's what it takes to learn that sweetheart of yours.
Justin Bieber will be celebrating another Grammy win this morning, and one from the country category. 10,000 Hours, the song he recorded with Dan and Shay. They won for Best Country Duo or Group Performance. That was his only win last night out of 4 nominations, but there were plenty of other Canadian winners and plenty of other highlights, and we're going to get to all the details from the Grammys last night. Eli is with us. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. Listen, the online love for this program on social media, this 3.5 hour sort of mega concert, people, why don't we start there before we get to the awards? People were really impressed.
You know, I remember seeing our own Tom Power tweeting last night, can the producers of the Grammys do the Oscars? And I think
every other award show too.
Exactly. So, I mean, here's the problem. Like, award shows in general are kind of in free fall. There's a fatigue. We don't want to necessarily watch these kind of Zoom acceptance speeches anymore. Ratings have already been trending down, and that was even before the pandemic. So the Oscars has a lot to prove. And I think what you saw last night was a lot of innovation, maybe even some experimentation, and a show that worked, a show that didn't ignore the pandemic, but gave us a way to escape, gave us some really electric performances. It was hosted by Trevor Noah. They had a lot of the nominees in this kind of open air gazebo, sitting at tables with the masks on, and the nominees there waiting to hear who won would stand up, make their acceptance speech, and then a really great kind of series of performances. Sometimes you'd have the artists essentially performing close to each other. So Harry Styles, and then the Black Pumas watching Harry do his thing, and then Billie Eilish, and then some really big set pieces with Doja Cat, with Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B doing WAP, Little Baby, Silk Sonic, I mean Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars giving us kind of the old school soul performance, and then BTS performing actually in South Korea, but they recreated the set to look like it was simultaneously the same thing as what we were watching in Los Angeles. And as always with BTS, it was kind of a masterclass in live performance. There, I believe, is Doja Cat. So you see, like, you know, those are the kind of big, ambitious, expansive performances we associate with the Grammys. They did, you know, most of them live, very ambitious, and I think really it worked quite well. And you're going to see a lot of people now looking at the Oscars saying, okay, what can you do? Because that actually worked quite well.
And all of the measures they took for COVID to enable it to go off, as you said, you know, all of it, everybody at distant tables, they had 5 separate stages, and so they handled it very, very well and gave some incredible performances. In terms of winners, history made in a couple of areas, Eli, what were the standout moments for you?
Yeah, a number of records broken. It was a big night for the women in a lot of the big categories. Megan Thee Stallion had an amazing evening, winning 3 Grammys and making history to become the first female rapper to win Best Rap Song for Savage. And she won for a version with Beyoncé on the single. And these gals from Houston, they stood up to accept the award together. And you could really, I mean, first the internet lost its mind when we saw that Jay-Z and Beyonce were live in attendance, because, you know, they had been snubbed before. But there was a beautiful moment between these two women. Let's take a look at Megan's acceptance speech.
I definitely want to say thank you to Beyonce. If you know me, you have to know that ever since I was little, I was like, you know what? One day, I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna be like the rap Beyonce.
Yeah, and it was a really interesting moment. So just because Beyonce kind of won that award there, she was already tied for the most wins by a female artist at 27. And then when she won for Best R&B Performance for her record, she now has broken the record and become the biggest Grammy-winning woman ever in music history. And that was quite the moment, a moment she shared with her daughter and her fans. Let's take a look at Beyonce back on the podium.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. History has just been made. breaking the all-time record for the most Grammy wins ever by any female artist or any singer, male or female. The Grammy goes to Beyoncé!
There you go. Massive moment for Beyonce. Beautiful acceptance speech. Called out her daughter, Blue, and really how she's been trying to just, make connections and inspire fans during the pandemic. And then we ended with the big award, the biggest award of the night. And some thought it would go another direction. But for Record of the Year, it was Billie Eilish. And this was interesting because she swept the Grammys last year, wins yet again, and the beginning of her acceptance speech almost felt like she wasn't going to accept it, and she put the spotlight again on Megan Thee Stallion. Let's take a look.
Megan, girl, I was gonna write a speech about how you deserve this, but then I was like, there's no way they're gonna choose me. I was like, it's hers. You deserve this. You had a year that I think is untoppable.
So she did go on to accept the award and thanked her brother standing there beside her, who was really kind of her secret weapon, her producer, her co-songwriter, and everything. But yeah, big night for Megan and for Billie and for all the women. Also big night for Canada, not maybe at some of the top awards, but as you mentioned, Justin Bieber, it's interesting, has latest album pivoting more to kind of an R&B direction. But last night, he won for Best Country Duo for 10,000 Hours with Dan and Shay. So Bieber taking home, I think, now his second Grammy Award. I'm sure he'll take that regardless. A great song is a great song. And then Kaytranada, Montreal's own, just remarkable DJ and producer who has his fingerprints on so many songs these days. And he actually took home Grammys for Best Dance Electronic Album and Best Dance Recording. And I think that is the first time a Black artist has won for Best Electronic Album. So great stuff once again, Grammys and Canadians making history last night.